Marvel. An icon when it comes to the productions of live-action superhero movies, such as the Avengers series and the Eternals. Aside from these movies, Marvel Entertainment also produces animated movies, such as What If? All of these are based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe that includes the base of all these movies and their comic books. With all these, you can tell that they have garnered fans that await their next projects. And speaking of their next project, here is Marvel's What If Season 2 first look. Spoilers ahead, guys. So what goes on in the What If, the animated series, that one can wonder? Not to mention that the animated series has garnered quite a large crowd since its debut in August of last year. So it got me thinking about what makes this animated series intriguing for the majority of the audience. Apparently, the episodes of the What If series reimagine some of the unforgettable events that happen within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, most of them centering around one character and creating a multiverse around said reimagination. Living to its name, really. This animated series is full of what-ifs and what-could-haves. Quite an intriguing concept. A marvelous idea from Marvel itself should not surprise me, but they still managed to bring us the most amazing plots that we could ever ask for. In addition to all of these, the sad reality will always catch up with the what-ifs, not to mention those that have led to deaths and the loss of our loved ones. Each and every episode of Season 1 got us all thinking about all these what-ifs that we may have never pondered until they were asked by Marvel themselves. I mean, the third episode got me wondering how a world could manage without the mightiest heroes, when the hearts of evil is rooted in everything I do, hear, see, etc. I mean, these heroes are being targeted by a single serial killer. How absurd does that sound? I mean, they are the mightiest of all heroes. That has been an established fact for so long. One of them is even a trained assassin, for crying out loud. And you are telling me someone is crazy enough to not only go against these heroes, but devise a plan clever enough to catch them off guard and eventually kill them? Noting all of that, it's quite refreshing to see heroes smashing that like button. Or, barricaded with security and whatnot. I could really tell how Fury has had his worries, especially with his best agents on the line. I'm sure he knows how absurd the idea is. Bodyguards for heroes? Oh god, what a headache! But in order to protect what protects the people, adjustments have been made. Another one that got me thinking is the absence of the mighty Thor's siblings. That includes his biological older sister and his adopted younger brother. That could change a whole lot of the plot, no? Loki and Hela both made their contribution to a lot of changes in Asgard and the human race. No one can really deny how these two have made a difference in the trajectory of everything. Hela destroyed Asgard, for crying out loud. Or, where they were because, as Thor once said, Asgard is where its people are, or something. Lastly, the episode I believe was the fifth one, if I'm not mistaken, where a zombie outbreak occurred in the MCU. A situation like no other. Really scary to think about it, especially if the world's mightiest heroes are now divided in half. Maybe even some of them are literal halves, if you know what I mean. I mean, the thought of the zombie apocalypse happening within the MCU is not welcome. However, it can be entertained too. No? You would never have imagined the things that I went through, or that my brain went through when I heard the what-ifs of this episode. No one can really blame me for thinking this way. I mean, I strongly believe that although a zombie apocalypse can be a thing, maybe in the near future, however, I am a strong believer that this sci-fi sort of mistake will not happen in the MCU. I mean, one of them is a literal billionaire genius, not to mention how he might have been a part robot, if you know what I mean. With his heart and everything. Realizing a mistake within the test tubes is a simple task. So why did these people, who we claim are the mightiest, made a zombie apocalypse possible? It baffles me. But I enjoyed it so much. I could be looking at my girl Natasha Romanoff all these times. But the plot was definitely there. Going back to what I was saying. Taking out Loki and Hela from the picture might be good for the people, especially for those they have hurt. However, you and I cannot deny the fact that what they have done, albeit for the betterment of themselves, is not entirely a bad thing if they led to a lot of people's lives changed, for good or for bad. With all this pondering going on, you kind of get what I mean, yeah? how the entire animated series got us all thinking about the what ifs, which really is the charm of the show. And with that, it is not an uncommon ground for the fandom to want more. I mean, anything to get Natasha back on screen. No? I surely missed her, if no one's going to speak up about it. Her death was such an eye-opening event of realizing how the world could be so much better if she was here and alive with all the other agents under the Avengers. Addressing the matter at hand, when is Marvel releasing the second season? Or are they even releasing a second one? They need to, and it helps us a lot to grieve for certain characters we truly loved and miss. Lo and behold, MCU fans, Season 2 of the animated series has been announced and confirmed. And not only that, the show's Season 3 is in the works as well. In addition to all these, Season 2 trailer has been out for a few months now, which showcases the return of a few characters that are absolute fan favorites, such as Captain Carter and Black Widow. The first episode of the second season seemed intense, with all of the characters crossing paths again, and the mixing of events that happened during the movies The Winter Soldier and Black Widow. All of these in the 1950s aesthetics. With the trailer of the second season out and about this year, the estimated release date of the first episode of the said season would be in late 2022 or early of 2023. With Season 3, however, that would obviously come after the second season, so approximately 2 years from now, or maybe even more. What makes this project even more exciting is the fact that Marvel's animations are hitting that subscribe button and ringing that notification bell. No, but seriously, these guys are excited to work on a project like this, especially since most of them are animators that have worked on live-action movies produced by Marvel. However, despite the obvious difference between the two, Marvel animator Ryan Andrews has stated in an interview that the two did not necessarily have a vast difference in making them. They told several interviews that although Kevin Feige, the head honcho at Marvel, had always wanted a what-if series, the preparations for it were not easy. That includes the production as well. Why, you may ask? Well, that's because the animation is different, and it may cause problems that might ruin everything. It is important to note that these what-ifs on every episode of the animated series are based on a Marvel comic anthology with the same name. The comic anthology currently has 2 volumes complete, and is currently ongoing on its 3rd, until its 9th volume. The comic anthology made its debut way back in 1977. And here we are in the present, enjoying it in its raw beauty of an animated series. Not to mention, being directed by the wonderful Bryan Andrews. What If, the animated series, will always be one of the best animated series that I've watched this year and last year combined. I wholeheartedly hope that Season 2 will be even better. What will be in Season 2? Will they bring us a lot more of all the characters? Or maybe they can even add more characters to the mix? See you in the next video.